Welcome to Statistics Made Simple. I am Savita Walsing, and today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic called theoretical distributions. So, before we go into this theoretical distributions chapter, let's have a small recap of what is a random variable, which we learned in the first year PUC. A random variable is a function that assigns a real number to each and every outcome of the sample space. And if you recollect, a random variable is usually denoted by alphabets in capital letters, for example, capital X, capital Y, and the values the random variable takes, which is also called as a range, is denoted by alphabets in small letters like small x and small y. There are two types of random variables, the discrete random variables and the continuous random variables. Let's not go into the definitions as you have already learnt it last year. Now the probability which is associated with a discrete random variable is called as a probability mass function, PMF, and is denoted by P of x is equal to probability of capital X equal to small x. And a continuous random variable has a probability associated with it which is called as a probability density function, PDF, and is denoted by f of x. Now, probability distribution of a discrete random variable is known as a discrete probability distribution, and the probability distribution of a continuous random variable is known as a continuous probability distribution. At this point, I would like you to please refer your notes from the first year syllabus. Now, two important points which you have to remember for this entire theoretical distributions chapter is that random variables are of two types, discrete and continuous, and the probability associated with a discrete random variable is the PMF, which is denoted by P of x, and the probability associated with a continuous random variable is the probability density function, and it is denoted by f of x. Now, based on certain assumptions and restrictions, random variables are classified into different distributions. Such distributions, which are designed theoretically, are called theoretical distributions. The different probability distributions which we are going to learn are the Bernoulli distribution, binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, hypergeometric distribution, normal distribution, chi-square distribution, and student's T distribution. The first four distributions are discrete probability distributions, and the fifth, sixth, and seventh are continuous probability distributions. We'll begin with the first distribution, that's the Bernoulli distribution. This distribution was discovered by a Swiss mathematician, James Bernoulli, in 1713. Starting with the definition, let x be a discrete random variable, then it is said to follow Bernoulli distribution if its PMF is given by P of x equal to, open a flower bracket, in the first line write p to the power x, q to the power 1 minus x takes two values 0, 1 and q is equal to 1 minus p. On the second line write 0 otherwise. Now what this means is when x takes only two values 0 and 1, then the PMF is p of x equal to p to the power x q to the power 1 minus x. Otherwise means if x takes values like 2, 3, so on up to infinity, or if x takes negative values like minus 1, minus 2, so on up to minus infinity, then p of x will be equal to 0. Now, some of the points which are very important to keep in mind are the only unknown quantity in the above PMF is P, and it is called as the parameter of the Bernoulli distribution and is also known as the probability of success. Q, which is equal to 1 minus P, is called as the probability of failure. The third point is we are writing the probability distribution of the Bernoulli variate. It is a table where in the first row you have X and in the second row you have P of X. Now you know that for the Bernoulli distribution, X takes only two values, 0 and 1. So when X takes the value 0, all you have to do is in the PMF substitute X as 0. So you get P to the power 0, Q to the power 1 minus 0. Any number to the power 0 is 1. So you see that when X is 0, P of X will result in only Q. Similarly, when you put X as 1 in the PMF, you will get P to the power 1, Q to the power 1 minus 1. P to the power 1 will be P and Q to the power 1 minus 1 is Q to the power 0, so which results in P. I would like all of you to try this out. So when X takes a value 0, its P of X is Q, and when X takes a value 1, P of X will be equal to P. And the occurrence of value 0 denotes failure and the occurrence of value 1 denotes success. And for the problems, capital X will always denote the number of successes, and the success would depend on the problem which is under consideration. We'll now define a Bernoulli trial or a Bernoulli experiment. A trial is called a Bernoulli trial if the following two conditions are satisfied. Firstly, the trial results in a success or a failure, and second, the probability of success, that is P, is a constant for every trial, or P remains the same every time you conduct the random experiment. Let's take example 1. The random experiment is that of tossing a coin. All of you are aware that when a single coin is tossed, there are two possible outcomes, a head or a tail. And the probability of getting a head or getting a tail is half or 0.5. In my example, I am denoting X as getting a head. So head denotes success for me. You can try the same example with success being tails. So coming back to this example, you see that the random variable X, it takes two values 0 and 1. So it will take the value 0 if tail occurs and it takes the value 1 if head occurs. So the first condition of a Bernoulli trial is satisfied. That is, our random experiment of tossing a coin is resulting in a head, which is a success, or it can result in a tail, which is a failure. Secondly, the probability of success. What is success for me in this example? It is getting a head. So probability of getting a head will be P equal to half, which remains a constant for every trial. That means how many ever times I conduct the experiment of tossing a coin, the probability of success, that is probability of getting a head, is going to remain the same. That is P equal to half. Hence, the random experiment which I have conducted of tossing a coin is a Bernoulli experiment because both the conditions are satisfied and the random variable X is called as a Bernoulli variate. Let's take the second example. Consider the random experiment of rolling a die. When we roll a die, there are 6 possible outcomes, and all of you again are aware that the probability of getting any number on the die is 1 divided by 6. In this example, if I get the number 6, then it is considered to be as success. You can write the same example by choosing any other number which is there on the die. So I am defining x as getting number 6. Here, the random variable x will take two values 0 and 1. It will take the value 0 if the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occur when the die is rolled, and it will take the value 1 if number 6 occurs. So the first condition is satisfied, that is, our experiment is resulting in a success or a failure. Secondly, the probability of success. What is success for me here? It is getting number 6. Probability of getting number 6, P, will be 1 by 6, which remains a constant for every trial. So how many ever times I roll the die, the probability of getting number 6 is not going to change, it's going to remain the same. Hence, the random experiment is a Bernoulli experiment, and the random variable x is called as a Bernoulli variate. We will now derive the mean and variance of the Bernoulli distribution. Recollecting what we have learned in first PUC, we know that the mean of a random variable is denoted by E of x, which is equal to summation over x, x p of x. This is the definition of the expectation of a random variable, and expectation of a random variable is the mean of the random variable. Please note over here that after E, which is the expectation, within brackets it is the random variable, so you always have it in capital letters, and whatever follows after the summation sign will be the values of the random variable, so it is expressed in small letters. So starting with the definition of E of x, which is summation over x, x p of x. We move on to the next step. The second step, as you see on the screen, is E of x equal to. Now for the Bernoulli distribution, x takes only two values 0 and 1. So write summation. Below the summation write x equal to 0. Above the summation write 1. Then write x as it is. Replace P of x by the PMF of the Bernoulli distribution, which is p to the power x q to the power 1 minus x. That is the second step which you see on the screen. Now put x equal to 0 and x equal to 1, and summation means that you have to add both the terms. So if we do that, we get E of x equal to, first now I am putting x equal to 0. So we'll get 0, p to the power 0, q to the power 1 minus 0. Now summation sign means you have to add, so put plus. Now put x as 1. So you'll get 1, p to the power 1, q to the power 1 minus 1. Now the first term will be 0 plus 1, you write as it is. P to the power 1 is p, q to the power 1 minus 1 is q to the power 0. And any number to the power 0 is 1. So we get E of x equal to p. In other words, the mean of the Bernoulli distribution is E of x equal to p. At this point, I would like you to try it out a couple of times and you will get the result E of x equal to p. Now let's move on to the variance. By the definition of the variance of a random variable, we know that V of x is equal to E of x square minus E of x the whole square. Now please observe that next to V and next to E, the alphabets are always in capital letters because they stand for the random variable. So I repeat the variance formula. We start with it. V of x equal to e of x square minus e of x the whole square. E of x we have already calculated and we have obtained it as p. Now let's write the formula for e of x square. E of x square will be summation over x square p of x. Now the third step will be e of x square equal to, write the summation sign. Now for the Bernoulli distribution, x takes two values 0 and 1. So below the summation write x equal to 0, above the summation write 1. Then write x square as it is. For p of x, replace it by the PMF of the Bernoulli distribution, that is p to the power x, q to the power 1 minus x. Now put x equal to 0 and put x equal to 1 and add both the terms, which will result in 0 square, p to the power 0, q to the power 1 minus 0. Summation means plus, so put the plus sign, 1 square, p to the power 1, q to the power 1 minus 1. So the first term will result in 0 plus 1 square will be 1, p to the power 1 is p, q to the power 0, which will result in e of x square equal to p. Now substituting in v of x formula, we get v of x equal to p minus p square. So remove p common, which is p into 1 minus p. And you know that 1 minus p is nothing but q. Hence, we get the result. The variance of the Bernoulli distribution is v of x is equal to pq, where q is nothing but 1 minus p. Please try out the calculations for the mean and variance of the Bernoulli distribution. Practice it a couple of times to obtain the result. Now let's discuss some more properties of the Bernoulli distribution. The first one is the mean of the Bernoulli distribution is E of x equal to p. Second, the variance of the Bernoulli distribution is V of x is pq, where q is equal to 1 minus p. Third, the standard deviation of the Bernoulli distribution is SD of x equal to root pq, q is equal to 1 minus p. The fourth property is an important one. If x1, x2, x3, so on, xn are n independently and identically distributed Bernoulli variates with common parameter p, then their sum x1 plus x2 plus so on xn will follow binomial distribution. Within brackets we write n comma p, which are its parameters. The fifth one, the mean is greater than the variance for the Bernoulli distribution. Now please make a note that the symbol tilde is read as follows. So x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus so on plus xn. Then that simple tilde means follows. B stands for binomial. Within brackets we write the two parameters n and